The Forgotten Boys of Chelsea Past. What's happening, friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that, and welcome back to Chelsea news. Of course, we are in the deep, dark, cold abyss of the international break. They are relentless, aren't they? After this one, we got a bit of time of real football coming back, so that's good. It's not even like, as an England fan, there's only really Reece James to watch that closely with England, but still, we move and we will analyse Chelsea throughout this international break here on the channel, speaking about certain stories and Chelsea news videos just like today. We're going to refresh our memories a little bit about Mykhailo Mudryk. What's happening? Will he theoretically get back into this side? Because it seems like Chelsea are building their attack under Maresca. And Maresca has coached Mudryk for a bit. It feels like he hasn't. But yeah, he did use him for a while, like in the Conference League. And he looked like he was coming good before it went bad. But of course, we've bought wingers, different wingers. And I guess we're planning without him. We've got loads. It's really difficult to speculate, but there's loads of financial ramifications. He got so much money for Chelsea. Shakhtar are waiting for like add-ons and bonuses. The domino effect's insane. We'll speak a little bit about that. Nizar Kinsella wrote about it sort of at the end of the summer, beginning of autumn. We'll remind ourselves from the BBC. Axel Disasi, desperate to get out in January. He's captaining the under-21 side. We can speak a little bit about Raheem Sterling as well. Again, when it was the summer, he had £30 million left in wages that Chelsea still owe him. The problem remains. And a little bit about good performers, who scored team of the week, which is a nice little sort of taster to get off because there's a few Chelsea players in there. And then we can speak a little bit more casually, broadly about Chelsea moving forwards. Of course, we're third in the Premier League in this international break, which I must say is nice. 6 points off top. Like, I did not think, watching Arsenal, this team, that you could not break down, you could not, score against or even create chances going into this international break would be like a couple of wins off them. I was thinking, hold on, but we lost at home to Sunderland and that was like a disaster. That away loss at Old Trafford when, Rob Sanchez got sent off, those two results should not have happened. We should have beat Sunderland at home. I know they've actually been really, really good this season, but generally at home we should have beaten them, and we definitely should have beaten that Man United side. There's those 6 points. Yeah, we should be level on points. It's all shoulda, woulda, coulda. Anyway, we'll get into it. We'll talk Chelsea. Thanks for joining me. Please do consider supporting the content and subscribing if you're yet to subscribe. You could be a difference maker. You've seen the subscriber count on this channel. Be the guy/girl, probably guy, that makes the difference and subscribes if you choose to hit the bell. But thanks for liking, commenting, sharing, hyping up the video, and all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into it, and let's look at this Who Scored Team of the Week thing. Yeah. So, for game week 11, here's your Who Scored Premier League Team of the Week. 3 Chelsea players. Lovely stuff. You probably notice around me, I've done some editing. Hashtag good production work from me, hopefully. Trying to tart up the channel a little bit. Yeah, man, 3 Chelsea players. Wesley Fofana in the back line. He's only just coming back into fitness in the Chelsea team. Of course, he played out a full 90 in the Premier League, which against Wolverhampton, which I was very pleased about. That's what I want to see from Wes. I know he can perform incredibly well. I know he's got a very high ceiling in terms of how he plays as a defender. We know that Enzo Maresca loves Fofana, but it's always going to be the same. We can talk about his skill level, how much he contributes to the team once we know he can actually stay on the football pitch and play football. So playing 90 minutes was huge. He's been recognised here in Who Scores Team of the Week. Of course, Pedro Neto, I'm pleased for him, in a sort of time where people are rightly and understandably hyping up Steval because he's amazing and he's very, very exciting. These players like Pedro Neto who work hard, getting the odd goals, playing different positions, getting recognised too. It looks like he's the 3rd highest ranked. Is that right? 3rd? Yeah, behind or 4th, something like that. Anyway, he's played well. And of course, Joao Pedro scoring in 2 consecutive games actually for him. So I'm very pleased for the Brazilian forward. And yeah, just a bit of recognition of Chelsea players that are playing well. On Joao Pedro, it's very, very interesting, isn't it? Because I do want to see him in the withdrawn role a little bit. He seems to be scoring playing as a striker. I still think that we have got so much to see from Liam Delap as a Chelsea striker. I think maybe due to a multitude of factors, people are sort of aren't thinking about it much. Fitness, the 2 yellow cards, as in fitness, he's not been available. The sending off, which was silly, and just not really getting an opportunity to see him have an extended run in the side. I do genuinely think he will be good for Chelsea. He will be this kind of player that really, really helps players like Joao Pedro, Estevão, Neto, the left wingers, Garnacho and Gittins, who are both playing really well at the moment. He will be one of those strikers that probably doesn't touch the ball a lot, and I think, personally, will be one of those strikers that really help us out against good sides. So not necessarily breaking down deep blocks like Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm talking more like, when we're going to play a team that come at us, like, maybe like an Arsenal that are really trying to apply the pressure on us and squeeze us high. He'll be fighting Gabriel and Saliba. There'll be a ball to him. He'll be able to drag us up the pitch a little bit, and he'll be this really useful, important striker. And we will see the best of a Liam Delap in these kind of scenarios. I feel like he hasn't, been afforded the opportunity to demonstrate, look, Chelsea fans, I'm actually really good and I'm going to help you out this season. So I'm really looking forward to him having that opportunity, and we will see it. He's a good player. If I could snap my fingers and choose any striker to start for Chelsea right now, I might teleport in, someone else, a Victor Osimhen, a Lautaro Martinez, and another different, really high-profile good striker that's available. But, we've got what we've got. Young players, talented, high ceiling, and we've got to sort of wait till that comes into fruition. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about the ghosts of Chelsea's squad currently, the players that we're trying to find a solution for. Let's start with, we'll do Raheem Sterling. Axel Disasi is probably going to get a January move, and then we'll speak about Mykhailo Mudryk. So let's have a quick moment on Raheem. So Raheem's been doing some work with his football academy stuff. He's not, I don't think he's even, because at least Axel Disasi is playing with the under-21s. I don't know what Raheem Sterling is doing. I think he's literally just been assigned a trainer at Chelsea. He turns up at Cobham at night time and stays fit, basically. They keep him in condition so he stays fit to be sold or whatever. Because, of course, the PFA, they've contacted Chelsea like, are you treating Raheem and Axel well enough? Are you basically being good employers? And Chelsea are doing everything they should do, apparently, in terms of if they sign them coaches to keep them fit. It's up to them if they want to select them for squads and stuff, which they haven't. I don't think they're I don't know. I think that it is cruel because they're not allowed to go to the training ground at the same time when the first team's there. I kind of understand it in a way where you just want to keep this togetherness, this group, this collective mentality. You don't want to have this sort of sad situation floating around, so it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Raheem at all. In September, it was published that he had £30 million worth of wages remaining on his contract. I'm not going to spend too long on this. I did have a great deal of sympathy for Raheem Sterling, and I still do broadly, but when I found out that he rejected a move to the German champions in Bayern Munich and the Italian champions in Napoli, I was a bit like, what? Do you know what I mean? Because I thought maybe we were going, go to Saudi, go to Turkey, go to Saudi or Turkey. Not, do you want to go to one of these amazing top 5 European league winning Champions League contending teams? He was just he didn't want to uproot his family. I get it. But, Bayern Munich with loads of English speaking players, Germany's not far at all. You can be home for, a couple of days a week just for a season to get your profile up to, try and get back in the England squad for the World Cup in the summer. Tuchel will see you linking up with Harry Kane at Bayern Munich and everything. Remember, Tuchel loves Sterling as well. Tuchel loves Raheem Sterling. He's desperate to sign him to Chelsea. So if he sees him linking up with Kane at Bayern Munich, he might select him in the summer. It was there for Raheem. So my sympathy waned a little bit, I must say, but I don't, it's his choice. We're paying him. It'd be very interesting to see what happens. If I was to speculate now, if I was to guess, I think come the summer, I don't think anything's going to happen in January with Raheem. I do think it will with Disasi, but with Raheem, I don't think anything will happen in January. I think he's just going to accept that he's probably never going to play for England again, even though he was good for England for a long time. It's very sad, really. And then come the summer, I think that there's going to be a lot of lawyers around a big table in a room somewhere, and Chelsea are going to say, right, how much are we going to have to pay you for you to go away? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, then we're not going to give you your say how much it would be then, 25 million, 22 million in wages, or whatever it is. But if we give you £5 million, will you go away, sign to another club, you get a sign-on fee, you get fresh wages, new contract? That's what I think. I think they'll just try and pay the situation away. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Comment down below, and let's speak about Axel Disasi. So Get French Football News have wrote the following. Chelsea centre-back Axel Disasi, 27 years old, is set to leave the Blues during the winter transfer windows, as revealed by Foot Mercato. The French international has been frozen out by Chelsea head coach Enzo Maresca. Disasi is yet to play a single game with Chelsea's senior team, and of course, he's been playing for Chelsea's under-21 Premier League side and captained them against Reading. The outlet understands that Disasi has no intention to stick around at the fringes at Stamford Bridge, whereas Chelsea do not intend to offer him a way back into the side. So yeah, it's the same situation with Raheem. Chelsea are like, no, you're done here. You're not part of the group. But at least, Disasi's playing with the under-21s. He's wearing the captain's armband. He's getting on with it. I'm not suggesting Raheem's refusing to do that. I don't know the details, but there seems to be Disasi's in his prime. He's 27. He did have a lot of interest from Champions League clubs as well. I think, you see him liking Malo Gusto's posts on Instagram after scoring because they're good friends. I remember, it's kind of sad really, because I remember some great Chelsea media when they both went to a restaurant together, Disasi and Gusto, and they were had lunch and just chatted about football and life. I think they spoke in French, but it was subtitled in English, but I, as a sort of basic French speaker, enjoyed watching it. And yeah, they just seem he seems like a good guy. I reckon he'll go back to Ligue 1, and I reckon he will play for a fairly decent side in France, yeah? Just play football again. That's my guess in what's going to happen with Axel. I hope it does work out for him. Of course, out of the two boys from Monaco, Benoit Badiashile is the one that Maresca fancies. He's really tall, he's quite a good passer. He's a lot younger, Badiashile. Of course, Axel's 27, but I'm just going to quickly Google now as I speak to you, Benoit Badiashile. Benoit Badiashile's 24, and he doesn't turn 25 till the end of the season, so he's 3 years younger basically than Disasi, and he's profiled more appropriately for Maresca. So Disasi will go in January. Raheem is seemingly just going to stay forever and just get paid. I do think he wants to play football, but I'm not going to go over that ground again. We'll talk about it in another few months or whenever a story comes up again in the Chelsea news. Right, let's speak about Mykhailo Mudryk. Before I give you a reminder of what's going on here, Mykhailo Mudryk, I remember when the Shakhtar official, was it the CEO or the main dude at Shakhtar, said there's only two better left-sided forwards in world football, and that is Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. And this is, of course, when Arsenal were courting him for a lot of money. Chelsea then eventually gazumped Arsenal and signed Mykhailo Mudryk for a basic fee of £62 million, so we are committed to 62. I don't know how much we paid up front. We somehow managed to pay only 30 million up front for £105 million Enzo Fernandez. So maybe similarly, we've only paid a certain amount of installments out of that basic 62 million. Maybe said installments have frozen. I'm speculating, I'm guessing here. Maybe there's, clauses when you sign a player and say if they commit a horrendous crime and there's still payments due or something, we have the right to, maybe there's certain scenarios, or maybe if they get caught for doping and they're unable to play football. I wonder if this is included in contracts because there's so much meticulous detail. I'm totally guessing here, but I wonder if it's yeah, we'll sign him provided he turns up and does no anything horrific, we'll keep paying these. So maybe Shakhtar, I know Shakhtar are certainly really, really keen to get this doping situation resolved because regardless, even if Chelsea are committed to that 62, they want the extra money and add-ons to make it 88 million. I think he has to do very, very well at Chelsea to get that 88 million. But it's a huge financial investment for Chelsea. I'd be very interested to hear if we've paid the full 62 or, I doubt that was an upfront payment. I'm not sure, but if it wasn't, if those have been frozen and, if there's any clauses, we'll just have a quick reminder of an article from the summer on BBC from Nizar Kinsella about what's going on and who his lawyers are, and then we'll talk about Mudryk, could he return to Maresca's side? Lawyers, losses and lie detectors inside the Mudryk doping case. So a little reminder here. Chelsea bought Mudryk for £61 million apparently in January 2023, and he's made 73 appearances from the club. He was provisionally suspended for doping in December 2024. Mudryk came out and said it's a complete shock. He didn't knowingly break any rules and he hopes to be back on the pitch soon. This was a long time ago he said that. The Ukrainian Football Association said they cannot comment on the matter. They're not part of the case. The World Anti-Doping Energy? Anyway, apparently they're in close contact with Mudryk's lawyers. Mudryk has hired the same legal defense that Paul Pogba did when he was been done for doping when he played for Juventus. Apparently Tyson Fury and cyclist Chris Froome also got this law firm. It's Morgan Sports Law. Now, if you remember correctly, Paul Pogba was banned for 4 years for a doping charge. So everyone's thinking it's going to be the same for Mikhail Mudryk, but the law firm that he's hired, Morgan Sports Law, got that 4 years reduced to 18 months, which is pretty darn good. They're earning their money there. So a lot of people have speculated they're going to do the same thing for Mudryk. But the thing is, I don't know if he's still serving a provisional ban or if the official ban has come in, and if and when the official ban comes in, does it backdate the provisional, like adding on to the whole time you've got to be banned for? So say if it's 18 months, does that start in December 2024? So he's nearly already served a year and he's only got 6 months left. So is he going to be next season available for Enzo Maresca? Because that would be 18 months. The end of this season, you play with your current wingers. But then, ladies and gentlemen, not only have you got Pedro Neto, Estevao, Jamie Gittins, Alejandro Garnacho, other players that can play wide like Cole Palmer and Joao Pedro, but you've got Giovanni Kenda coming in as well. What is Mudryk going to do? It's a huge question, because I tell you what, his resellability is going to be bad. Not only did we overpay for Mudryk, I know he was meant to have this super high ceiling, he's an incredibly fast player, he's got this insane raw materials as a player, and whatever, fine. But he's 24. He's 24 now, so he's still under 25. He's still got his future ahead of him. Of course, there was that story about him going into athletics. He turns 25 on the 5th of January, so he'll be 25 before the season's out. Crazy, really, man. I do wonder, because it was such an interesting scenario, because when Pochettino came in, he was tasked by Todd Boehly and Clear Lake, sort out Mudryk, we spent a lot of money on Mudryk, we're not getting any value out of him, can you make Mudryk good? And he was doing the crossbar challenge with him, remember all those stories, putting his arm around his shoulder, really trying to do the emotional bond. It didn't really work. Maresca comes in. Maresca doesn't do that. I tell you, we've known Maresca's pretty I don't want to say a disciplinarian, but he's definitely not a light and fluffy manager. Do you know what I mean? But he got a little bit out of Misha. He was rotating him in the Conference League, and he started scoring goals and looking good. And I think he won man of the match maybe. And Maresca was he was a bit more laissez-faire with him, and actually probably was the way to get the most out of Mudryk, because he started doing good performances again before this doping ban came out. So I do wonder if he became available, how Maresca would look at it. I don't think he'd be like, you're like Raheem Sterling, I don't want to use him. But then again, guys, I've been saying this. We've read reports. Maresca doesn't like Sterling. Maresca doesn't like Disasi. I think it's all sporting director hierarchy stuff. I reckon he's in the room with the decision, but I do think across Maresca's 18 months or however long he's been in charge of Chelsea, if he was allowed to use Sterling in certain games, I think he would have used him just as an option. I think the club are trying to force him out, like football clubs have done across all leagues in history. So I don't think it's Maresca's gone, I don't want to use him. He's a winger. Maresca freaking loves wingers. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. But it'll be very interesting to see if Chelsea went, all right, Mudryk's available again. Where is he in your plan? He's kind of similar to Garnacho in terms of very direct transitional left-sided attacker. But we're good, aren't we? It's so interesting because will we just sell him? Do we just sell him for like £20 million to someone? And make a huge loss because you don't know the financial ramifications with Shakhtar in the background that we purchased him off as well. Very interesting, but of course I will follow all developments with this story. Let me know your thoughts, comment down below. As always, thank you so much for liking this video, for subscribing, trying to get to that 200k, subscriber mark, target, achievement. Anyway, I hope to see you back here soon. Enjoy the football. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.